Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're back over doing the split screen, taking a look at the rest of the changes from the patch notes. There's going to be Mezzoth's ult and furniture, Pharell's furniture, Athalia's furniture, Aziz's furniture, Odin's furniture, and Lucretia just getting a buff to her numbers, which is awesome because I'm building her on my test server. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so Mezzoth's furniture. This just looks like a straight buff for him, in my opinion. Once again, these are just my opinions on it. So basically, it used to be the duration of the majority of debuffs affecting Mezzoth are reduced by 40% when Mezzoth's health above 50, and then it used to be 80%. Now, the thing with this was he already had a passive where he was immune to CC when he's above 50, so it was like only like defense breaks and stuff like that. So it wasn't really giving him much of an effect because he already was immune. At least I'm pretty sure it was. Was it tied to this ult? Yeah. Mezzoth cannot be controlled whenever his health is above 50%. So it really wasn't doing much for him at all. Yes, like some debuffs, but come on. Like he's already got that effect, basically what you really want out of it. So they did change it, which is really nice. Like, I don't know how often this will come into play. I don't use Mezzoth. I haven't built one. I did use him in the early game when I had a single copy because he's really tanky. So really good if you do have a single copy of Mezzoth to test this out. But if an enemy imprisoned by the ability Devour, which is his ultimate ability, which is where he just basically licks them and then, you know, they get the tentacle thingies. No one focuses them after he does it, but they can still be hit by damage. So very possible for them to die. But if an enemy is imprisoned by the ability Devour, it currently has less than 15% health, they will be instantly slain. Not too bad. Like, I don't think it's 100% necessary. Like, it's not going to be like broken. But you know, it's not too bad. 15% is like a nice little balanced number. I feel like they could have bumped it up to 20 to make it more effective, but hey, 15 is a nice place to start for it. When an enemy is slain, this is where it gets real good, and this is why I think they left it at 15%, because the next effect's really nice. When an enemy is slain by the ability Fiendish Negation, which is this ability, Mezzoth recovers 10% of his max health and 80 energy points every second over 4 seconds. So not a bad recovery. He gets there. Once again, I do see this as a buff, but I don't think it's going to be completely game-changing for Mezzoth. It's going to be handy in some situations, but I still think the main purpose of Mezzoth is to be a really thick tank, and that's pretty much where he stands. Next up, we have Pharell, and I really do like the sound of Pharell's new one. On paper, we'll have to wait and see how it works. But basically, what happens here is they've merged. I feel like they've merged the 3 and 9 together and given him a new 9. So it used to be Pharell's normal attacks deal 12% more damage and cause targets to lose 12 haste points for every one spirit that is haunting them for a duration of 1.5 seconds. Now Pharell's attacks cause the targets to lose 12 haste, which is the same, for 1.5 seconds, which is this. Is that the same? Yeah, 1.5 seconds, which is the same. And then they've added in the level 9 furniture, which is if they're haunted by 3 spirits, they get stunned. But now it's just they get stunned in the level 3 as well. So 3 got a big buff on Pharell. If the target is haunted by 3 evil spirits, Pharell's normal attacks stun the target instead. But it doesn't say that they lose the haste anymore, because this used to say haste reduction by normal, yada yada yada. They no longer have their haste reduced by normal attacks. Now it doesn't say that. Don't know if it still does it like that, but we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, it's pretty solid. They've merged 3 and 9, and on text based, we'll have to test it. It looks like they've gotten rid of like the bad thing about the 9 furniture. So really nice to the 3 furniture. But then Pharell uses his ability, a cursed arrow, as his normal attack, which can be used every 2 seconds. So they slow the interval of it. I'm not sure how often his general attack rate is, to be honest, but every 2 seconds he's going to be using this one, a cursed arrow. Fires a cursed arrow at an enemy, dealing 140% damage. The cursed arrow causes an evil spirit to haunt the enemy for 10 seconds. Any spirits which are summoned due to one of Pharell's abilities will attack their target for 3 seconds. And then obviously we have all the other benefits for it through all of his skill ups that, you know, give his spirits extra effects, but like his spirits are wicked. The thing about this that I find really cool is now he's got guaranteed procs on those by using that ability. I really like the sound of this on paper. We'll have to see how it pans out. Because if that is his normal attack, after 6 seconds, he's already got 3 spirits on the one enemy just from this, not including his fear and all that stuff. So they're going to get stunned from that. So keen to see how it works. Now, obviously, this is going to work really well for him locking out the one tank and stuff like that, but we'll have to see how else it can be played. Obviously, we've got the haste reduction as well. But let me know what you guys think about this one. I really like this. Well, I just see it as if you don't like the 9 of 9. The other thing is when the 3 of 9 is like Pharrell's normal attacks, I'm pretty sure that's still going to apply, except it's going to be in relation to his accursed arrow. I think we'll have to wait and see. It should work like that. But even nonetheless, you get a really good effect out of Pharrell for 3 furniture without investing too much into him. And then I think 9 is going to be nice as well. We'll wait and do some testing with it, but hey, it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Next up, we have Athalia. Now, this one I think is an overall buff. It looks like it's going to be a nerf to single target damage ramp up. However, I think it will be a big buff to her AoE damage. So it used to be every time Athalia's allies, excluding Athalia, use their ultimate ability, the damage of Athalia's normal attacks is increased by 15% until the end of battle. This ability can be stacked 2 times, and then it becomes 20% with a 4-time stack. Now, what has changed is that it's now every 15 seconds this occurs, but not just that occurs. And obviously you could ramp that up a lot quicker by allies using their ults, but now it just happens every 15 seconds. But on top of that, she utilizes the same damage and AoE range of her ultimate ability, which is Divine Fury, against her enemies. So basically every 15 seconds, Athalia does an ult without using energy and then gains a stack of this buff, which is nice. Like, I mean, I feel like this is going to be good for PvP. I feel like a slower ramp up to a single target, but she's got AoE. Like, she basically gets an extra ultimate every 15 seconds. So like if her energy bar is just ramping up, she gets to 15 seconds, she uses this passive, then she goes ahead and uses an ultimate. Like, we all know how big her cleave can be when she does her ult. It's not bad. I think it's going to be strong. Like I said, it's a slower ramp up because obviously you could get, 4 allies using their ultimate ability after like 20 seconds and you'd be at 4 stacks, increasing her basic attack by 80%. So it's definitely a nerf to single target damage, but I'm keen to hear from like serious Athalia users if this is going to be a buff. Honestly, I'm even thinking for PvP, like it gives her the option that you can get away with using her at 3 furniture. Like, I don't think the 9 is necessary, because it's pretty much the exact same thing, except, after 30 seconds of battle, she's going to have an extra 10% attack. And then obviously she's going to ramp up by an extra 40 for if you go for another 30 seconds. But I mean, in the early part of PvP, when she's used in burst teams, I feel like 3 furniture is going to be enough for her. So I reckon, once again, I think that's going to be really nice. But a little bit of a nerf to single target damage. Anyway, that's Athalia. Okay, next up we have Azir. Now, this is another one of those ones where they've combined put the 9 furniture into 3 and then given a new one for the 9. So basically his 9 furniture used to be, when using the ability Feeble Mind, Azir receives 60% less damage from enemy attacks and cannot be controlled. Before that, the old level 3 was 25%. Now that level 9 goes to level 3, when using the ability Feeble Mind, Azir receives 60% less damage from enemy attacks and cannot be controlled. This makes me really want to bump him up to 3 really quickly, because 60% is a big deal, and my Azir is a bit squishy because he's not ascended yet. But obviously I can't get furniture until he's ascended. Don't pull me up on that one, but he's 1 or 2 copies away. So I'm going to push his furniture now. I'm going to add him in to get 60% mitigation from him. And he uses that ability fairly early. I think it's going to be nice just to help him for survivability without having to invest into 9. But if you do invest into 9, you're now going to get that the Feeble Mind ability, that's the one where he controls the enemy furthest away, and they walk towards him, simultaneously causes both the farthest frontline and backline enemies to fall under Aziz's control. While under Aziz's control, the affected enemies will walk towards Aziz for several seconds and be unable to attack, but only the farthest enemy of the 2 will be dealt damage. So obviously there's that explosion when they reach him that deals damage. That's only going to happen once, but he is going to control 2 enemies with the Feeble Mind, which ain't too bad. And the other cool thing about that is, like, it's a really good grouping mechanic for abilities that have a shorter range. I'm like, my first thought that comes to mind is Pharell. So if you can use this to drag the top 2 enemies down and you're using a Pharell, his sort of direct line burst should, when he uses his ult, should be hitting all of them. So I can see a synergy in that. There's obviously going to be other synergies as well. Just off the top of my head, something like Queen, how she does her doughies with her motorbike. That's a shorter sort of range. You've got the Chicken, how he does his thing, but I feel like you wouldn't be using this with Chicken anyway. But yeah, the doughies from Queen, how she gets them grouped up. That will have more effect on all of the enemies. I just think it's going to be really nice for those grouping mechanics as well, kind of like the Chicken Eron, but with a little less effect because it's not stacking them in. But obviously things like Isolde with his AoE stun and stuff like that. There could be a lot of comps that could benefit from this. Obviously you used to be able to do it anyway by controlling 1, but now you just get all of the enemy team in. So keen to see what this has in store and what people can find out with it, but that is Aziz. Okay, next up we have Odin. Now, his furniture never really made too much sense to me, but now it makes a lot of sense. I like what they've changed it to. But it used to be every time an enemy uses an ultimate ability, Odin will have his attack rating increased by 3% and damage received reduced by 3% until the battle ends. The ability's effects can stack up to 15 times. Once skill has been stacked 12 times, Odin becomes immune to control abilities. And then level 9 was the effects of this ability now also apply to the allied hero with the highest combat rating. It just seemed like, you know, in campaign and stuff, you're getting 3% per ultimate, but normally if they use that many ultimates, you're probably going to be dead. So it didn't really make sense. And then against bosses, you're never going to get this because if he's in the team, he's resetting their energy and they're not getting anything. So that furniture was really just like a real meh one. Now he looks really nice. I want to say Chicken Eron Odin. You guys know I love Chicken Eron, but I'd have to test the timing of it. But enemies struck by the Void Lightning ability have their energy recovery reduced by 80% for the following 5 seconds. Then, while alive, Odin passively uses the ability Void Lightning every 8 seconds to attack the enemy with the current highest energy. Now, this is why this is really cool. Void Lightning. Odin opens up a portal to the void, causing the void lightning to blast out of it, striking the nearest enemy that is standing directly opposite him for 180% AoE damage. Then we got recovers an additional 50 energy points for every enemy struck. With his signature item, I can't remember what eye it opens. Okay, here it is. Took me a while, but it's this one here. After Odin's second eye has been opened, the ability Void Lightning will additionally target the enemy that is currently standing farthest away from Odin. So it's like that double portal that just blasts from both sides and fills up the screen. So you get some nice AoE damage out of it, but also he recovers an additional energy due to it. But now on top of that, the fact that he's going to be reducing the energy of enemies with that as well, and using it passively every 8 seconds, I feel like I don't know whether this passive every 8 seconds is like additional, because he uses it passively anyway. So I'm thinking it's going to be an additional usage of it. So I think it's going to be nice to stack up enemies and just reduce their energy recovery rates. And also, like, the same thing that used to happen is, like, if he hits them, he gains energy. So anything that does get high, he's going to reduce. I feel like he could be an absolute savage for energy reduction. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if he will work with Chicken Eron, because it might leave leave you with one support down on your team, meaning that it may not work out too well. Like your team will die before he really gets to use this because they might die to basic attacks. Maybe in PvP it could be a thing. But take on top of that, the energy recovery reduction, once again, if they are grouped up, he's portaling enemies onto themselves, meaning he's getting that AoE stun and more AoE damage. I really do like the sound of this furniture, and I'm super keen to test it. What I want to do is quickly with Odin, he's the only one we're going to do it on right now, but I want to check this one. They don't have furniture in this, so we can't check it. We're going to have to try and check him at some stage, because I really am curious to see if, like, he obviously uses this passively along throughout the battle, but if he uses it additionally passively, like, that's going to be a lot of void lightnings, meaning a lot of energy for Odin and a lot of energy reduction for the enemies. Like, that could be like 100% uptime on the ones he's attacking for that 80% reduction. I mean, really nice. Really nice. Anyway, that is Odin. Okay, and the final one we have to look at is Lucretia, the signature item change. So basically, she just got a flat numbers increase on her signature item, which I didn't see as necessary, but hey, she did. We'll just look at her level 30. When any non-summon allies die, Lucretia's attack rating is increased by 50% for 20 seconds. This ability can be stacked. The durations for the stack, yada, yada, yada. It basically used to be 35%, now it's 50. If you want to look at the level 10, it used to be 20%, now it's 30. But I mean, Lucretia cheese, like, is the thing. Like, this is one of those ones where I'm like, that it wasn't, like, she was good. I don't think it was needed. I thought Lucretia was really good as it is. I don't think this was needed, but I'm absolutely pumped it's happening because I'm building her on my test server. So, like, I'm all for it. I'm all for an extra 15% attack per ally that dies. Mind you, per ally that dies. Let's go ahead and check that out again. I don't think there's a change to the stacking. This ability can be stacked. No, it's all the same. Her haste is increased by 8 points, can be stacked. 20 seconds for 20 seconds. Yep, it's all the same. It's just a straight numbers increase, which is huge. So basically, if you put her in with 4 fodder, she's going to gain 200% attack almost instantly. It's really nice. It's really nice. Obviously, the thing that more affects her for the cheese is her initial survivability. So it doesn't really, like, it's just going to make her do stuff faster, but I think her survivability is still going to be like what you try and focus on to get her through the cheese. But hey, when you look at that, if you put her with 4 fodder, it used to be 120, 130, 140. She used to get 140% attack. Now she gets 200% attack. It's a decent increase to the attack. But hey, that is Lucretia. That is all those furniture items and Lucretia changes from the patch. Let me know what you guys think about these. I'm going to try and test the Antandra and these as soon as I can, or at least speak to people who are using them because they'll have more of a feel on the changes. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.